Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. Now folks, if you've been paying attention to the NFL this offseason, you know that the Washington Commanders are a team loaded with talent. They've got a solid roster, a quarterback in Sam Howell who showed promise last year, and a defense that's been improving. But as always, there's room for upgrades. And in the NFL, especially when it comes to contending for a Super Bowl, every single detail matters. The difference between a good team and a great team often comes down to the pass rush. You look at the teams that have been in the Super Bowl recently, and one thing they all have in common: an elite pass rush that can disrupt the quarterback, force turnovers, and give their offense a chance to shine. So naturally, the big question on everyone's mind is, can Washington take that next step? Are they going to find a way to bolster their pass rush this offseason? And there's one name that's been buzzing around the NFL circles: Matthew Judon. Yes, the veteran edge rusher who made a name for himself in New England and even more recently with the Atlanta Falcons. Judon's a player that commands respect, a guy who's wrecked games with his relentless pressure on the quarterback. If you recall, just a couple of seasons ago, he put up 5 sacks with the Patriots, which is no small feat. That kind of production makes him one of the most feared pass rushers in the league, especially at his position. Now, he's just 2 seasons removed from that monster campaign, and he's a free agent after finishing his 4-year, $54 million deal with New England. That's right, he's on the market, and the Commanders are reportedly interested. But why all the fuss about Judon? Well, it's simple. The Commanders' current edge rushers, Devonder Wise Jr. and Dorrance Armstrong, are decent players, but when you compare their production to someone like Judon, it's night and day. Wise and Armstrong combined for fewer sacks than Judon's 72 sacks in his entire career, and they've done that in more than 400 games combined. Judon, at 33 years old, still has the motor, the skill, and the experience to be a game-wrecking force. A 4-time Pro Bowler, Judon has been recognized as one of the premier edge rushers in the league, and in 2022, he even finished 9th in NFL Defensive Player of the Year voting. That's a level of consistency and impact that every team dreams of having on their defensive front. Now, some fans might be thinking, well, he's older, maybe past his prime. But the truth is, Judon still has plenty left in the tank. And perhaps more importantly, he's a proven performer. His ability to rush the passer, set the edge against the run, and pressure the quarterback in crucial moments could be exactly what Washington needs to elevate their defense to that next level. Imagine what he could do paired with Chase Young, if Chase makes a full recovery from his injury, or with Montez Sweat leading the way on the other side. The potential is there, and it's tantalizing for any fan who wants to see the Commanders become a legitimate playoff contender. For those who follow the NFL closely, you know that Judon's impact isn't just about sacks. It's about the presence he commands on the field, the double teams he draws, and the disruption he creates in the backfield. That's why some analysts, like Dean Jones from Riggo's Rag, have said that taking a chance on Judon makes sense, especially because he's a low-cost option compared to some of the other edge rushers available on the market. The reality is, the Commanders aren't in a position to break the bank for a pass rusher right now, but Judon's price might be right, and his potential impact could be huge. Of course, Judon isn't the only option. The free agent market also features guys like Jadeveon Clowney and Za'Darius Smith, both of whom have been productive in recent seasons. Clowney, who also had 5 sacks last year with the Panthers, is a player who could bring a physical presence and leadership to the defensive line. Za'Darius Smith, who finished with 9 sacks last season split between the Lions and Browns, is another versatile pass rusher who can make a difference. But the question is, which of these players is the best fit for Washington? And more importantly, which one can they sign without breaking the bank? When we look at the landscape of the NFL, it's clear that pass rushers like Judon, Clowney, and Smith are highly sought after. The reason is simple: teams that can get pressure on the quarterback tend to win more games, especially in the playoffs. Look at recent Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes, one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league, has often struggled when facing relentless pass rushes. In Super Bowl LIV, the 49ers front put immense pressure on Mahomes, and in Super Bowl LV, the Buccaneers defense, led by Shaquille Barrett and others, made life difficult for him. These examples underscore just how vital an elite pass rush is to a team's championship aspirations. So naturally, the Commanders' front office, led by General Manager Martin Peters and head coach Ron Rivera, must be asking themselves, what can we do to ensure our defense can compete at the highest level? After losing Dante Fowler, who had 10.5 sacks last season, to the Dallas Cowboys, the team's pass rush took a hit. That's why adding a player like Judon, or even one of the other free agents, could be the move that pushes Washington over the edge. It's not just about filling a position, it's about making a statement that the Commanders are serious about contending in 2025 and beyond. Now, some fans might wonder, is it realistic? Will Judon come to Washington? Well, as Dean Jones pointed out, Judon might be waiting for the right opportunity, maybe a team that's willing to pay him what he's worth and give him a real shot at a Super Bowl. Or maybe the NFL has already written him off, and he's just waiting for a team to make the first move. Whatever the case, the Commanders could do a lot worse than taking a chance on a proven player who can still make an impact. The cost, as Jones suggests, wouldn't be prohibitive, and the potential reward could be huge, especially if Judon can recapture his 2021-2022 form and bring that disruptive edge to Washington's defense. But beyond the individual talent, what does this mean for the team's overall strategy? Well, it signals that Washington is serious about building a defense that can dominate games from start to finish. It's about creating a pass rush that can pressure even the most mobile quarterbacks, force mistakes, and set up the secondary to make plays. The NFC East is a tough division, with teams like the Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants all capable of striking quickly if given the opportunity. The Commanders need to be ready to match and surpass that level of competition, and adding a player like Judon could be the key piece in that puzzle. And let's not forget, the NFL is a league of opportunities. Sometimes, a veteran like Judon might be waiting for the perfect fit, a team that believes in him and offers a chance to chase a championship. Washington has a lot to offer: a passionate fan base, a talented roster, and a coaching staff that's committed to winning. If they can bring Judon in at a reasonable price and he can replicate even part of his past dominance, the impact would be felt across the entire defense. It would energize the locker room, elevate the play of others, and send a message to the rest of the league that the Commanders are here to contend. So, what's next for Washington? Well, they'll likely be monitoring the free agent market closely, exploring all options to bolster their pass rush. They might also look to the draft, although, interestingly, they haven't targeted a pass rusher early in recent drafts, which has raised some eyebrows among fans and analysts alike. The decision to sign Judon or another veteran would be a clear statement of intent, a move that says, we're all in on winning now. And honestly, with the right pieces around him, Judon could be the difference maker that transforms Washington's defense from good to great. Looking ahead, the NFC East is set to be more competitive than ever. The Eagles, fresh off a Super Bowl appearance, are loaded with talent. The Cowboys are always a threat, especially with their strong defense and offensive weapons. The Giants are on the upswing, and every game within the division is a battle. If Washington wants to crack that code and make a deep playoff run, they need to maximize every aspect of their team, and that includes the pass rush. It's clear that adding a player like Matthew Judon isn't just about filling a roster spot, it's about upgrading the entire defense and setting a tone for the season. Throughout history, we've seen how a dominant pass rush can turn a good team into a championship contender. Think about the 1985 Bears, the 2000 Ravens, or even recent teams like the 2018 Bears. Strong pass rushers change games, and they make life miserable for quarterbacks. The Commanders, with their talented defensive line, have the potential to be that kind of team, but they need that extra piece, someone who can consistently threaten the pocket and disrupt plays on every snap. Judon's experience, his proven track record, and his relentless motor make him an intriguing option. It's a move that could pay dividends, especially if he can bring his best form back to the field. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think Judon would be the perfect fit? Or are you more interested in other free agents like Clowney or Smith? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Washington Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. We're all in this together, and the coming weeks could be the most exciting of the offseason. Keep your eyes peeled because big moves are coming and the Commanders are aiming high. Let's go, Washington!